وَيَوْمَ نُسَيِّرُ الْجِبَالَ وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ بَارِزَةً وَحَشَرْنَاهُمْ فَلَمْ نُغَادِرْ مِنْهُمْ أَحَدًا. Suratul-Kahfi, Surah number 1847. And Yawma is the day and the day. There could be a question, why is Yawma in the Nasab status? Why is it Yawma, not Yawmu? There could be two reasons. One is it's for emphasis purposes. So that's why it's in the Nasab, Yawma. So there's an emphasis. And the second reason is there's a verb which is implied but not explicitly mentioned. So the verb is remember, and remember the day. So those are the two reasons. Nusayyiru means to move. We would cause to move. What will we move? It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is speaking. Al-Jibala, the mountain. Now, the simplistic translation would be we would move the mountain, but there is a whole lot of implications hidden behind these four words. So it is, and remember the day on which. So whenever there is Yawma and it connects with the next word, which is a verb in this case, not an ism, which functions as an ism, so it's an idafa construct. So again, I mean, Nusayyiru cannot be in the jar status because it is a verb. We do not connect such idafa constructs with of, but on which, if it is Yawma, the day. And remember the day on which. Now, I have added a whole lot of words. We is obvious from the nu part. We will repeatedly. Where is this repeatedly? And Nusayyiru is in the present future tense. It can be present, it can be future. It's talking about, just before Asa, just before the last moment of the last hour, the last time. So it's in the future. We will repeat it. Where is this repeatedly connotation coming from? Repeatedly is coming from the pattern itself. Sayyiru, Nusayyiru. The shadda on the ya, this intrinsic pattern, there is a beauty in the Arabic language in how the patterns express additional meanings. We will repeatedly cause. Where is the word cause coming from? It's from the pattern again. We will repeatedly cause. Now, instead of the mountain, the simplistic translation, it is the mountains of the ranges being dislodged in a domino effect to move and wander about. No more functioning as pegs. No more functioning as pegs obviously has to do with the implied meaning, because it, in other places in the Quran, the primary purpose of the mountain is not for beautification. That could be a function, but the primary function is to function as pegs to stabilize the earth. So no more functioning as pegs. So we will repeatedly cause the mountains of the ranges being dislodged in a domino effect to move and wander about. Can you imagine, can you fathom the sight of that? Watara, and you will perceive. You know by now that we do not prefer the translation see. That is basara. Watara, and you will perceive al-arda. What will you perceive? The earth. Barizatan. Now this needs some discussion. As distinctly different, the primary meaning is being different, being distinct. And I've added in the form of a leveled plane, which is actually not quite correct. And I'll explain why I've added that. So the earth as a leveled plane is the present condition. Right? The earth as a leveled plane, mostly. The mountains are there, the valleys are there, the rivers are there, the oceans are there. But mostly, the earth as a leveled plane is what we see, what we perceive, what we know. It's in front of our eyes. But barizatan, baraza, this root word, it actually quite means the reverse. It means contrast. To the extent it can mean protruding. But what is mentioned over here, what the translators or the scholars have translated as a level plane, is not even the secondary meaning. It's not the meaning, it's not the primary, it's not even the secondary meaning. Now, what is it being mentioned? What is mentioned over here is basically you will perceive the earth as distinctly different. That's what is mentioned. The mountains are not there. It's all turned into dust. And we've spoken about that, how nusayyiru requires or necessitates that we translate al-jibala not as the mountain, but as the mountains of the ranges being dislodged in a domino effect, one after the other, to move and wander about. That's what the mountains have been rendered into. And no more functioning as pegs. And we'll perceive the earth as distinctly different. So now, normally what happens when there is a leveled thing and there's something protruding, it is become contrasting, it becomes distinct, it becomes different. But here, because the earth, its natural terrain is now being disturbed and it's become sort of level, that is causing the distinction, that is causing the difference. And hence, if we have it as a sort of derived meaning, as a sort of tertiary meaning, not the primary, not the secondary, then I'm okay with that in the form of a level plane. The leveled plane is causing it to be distinct. Normally, the protrusions, the crests and the troughs are causing it to be that the terrain is what is adding to the beauty of the world. But it's so different at that time. That is what is causing it to be different, because now it's in a level plane. So that's how barizatan is to be understood primarily as distinct. And then you can have, as I said, level plane is not even a secondary meaning. As a tertiary derived meaning, I am okay with that. وَحَشَرْنَاهُمْ, and we will have herded them. It's in the past tense, but it's a past tense. It's a type of past tense which is used in the Quran as an emphasis of certainty to represent future events. Because the future is as sure as in the past to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for us. So that is, and Allah is using this line, we will have herded them, just like a herdsman herds, the verb, right? Herds his cattle, herds the cattle. Similarly, we will have herded them, the people, the humanity, the human beings. Falam, and no, that's in the negation, and we'll fit in the no at the appropriate. Nughadir, nughadir. Lam is causing it to be nughadir. It's nughadir. Nughadir. Nughadir basically means to leave, to leave behind or to leave out. Falam nughadir, minhum, from them, ahadan, anyone. Then we will not have left out anyone from them. So the entirety, the entire population base of the earth, the humans, the humankind, the humanity, each one of them, we will have herded them to the field of hashr. So we use hashr as a noun as well, but here it's the verb form. So we will have herded them to their place of assembly, what we also refers to the field of hashr. So this is it. There are elements of it which are sort of tricky, not so much. It has to be more felt to understand what is being mentioned over here. And I've given you the nuances with respect to the verbs and the nouns and all of those. So we'll read it once again before we bring it to a closure. وَيَوْمَ نُسَيِّرُ الْجِبَالَ وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ بَارِزَةً وَحَشَرْنَاهُمْ فَلَمْ نُغَادِرْ مِنْهُمْ أَحَدًا. And remember the day on which we will repeatedly cause the mountains of the ranges being dislodged in a domino effect to move and wander about, no more functioning as pegs. And you will perceive the earth as distinctly different in the form of a leveled plain. And we will have herded them, then we will not have left out anyone from them.